do today's recap standing up because I don't know where my chair is. So, it's somewhere in the house, who knows. But I have had 3 games out of the 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals that I've had to predict so far, and I'm 3 for 3. So, the Edmonton Oilers, they win today 5-4 in overtime, thanks to Leon Draisaitl, the German god. He helps the Edmonton Oilers send the series back to Edmonton, tied 2-2, where the Oilers and the Panthers can get a 3-2 lead in this series back to Florida for the chance to win the Stanley Cup. This game seemed like it was all going to be doom and gloom for the Edmonton Oilers in the first period, where the Edmonton Oilers, they gave up 3 goals in the first period to the Florida Panthers, and it just seemed like it was going to be all just like game 3 where the Panthers won 6-1. It just didn't seem like it was going to be very good the entire game. But before we get into the second period, let's talk about the first period. Matthew Tkachuk, he scores 2 goals on the power play, getting his 6th and 7th goal of the of the playoffs. He was borderline invisible all series long against the Toronto Maple Leafs, but he has been way more prevalent in this series against the Edmonton Oilers. But it is huge because he scores 2 goals, both on the power play. The Oilers, they took 4 penalties in game 3 in the first period. Today they took 3, and they got scored on twice. I think the Florida Panthers were 2 for 4 on the power play tonight. So that is something you do not want to give the Florida Panthers, is a man advantage, because they are already good enough 5-on-5 to kick the crap out of you. So if you give them the man advantage, it is a very, very, very bad thing. With less than a minute to go in the first period, Anton Lundell, that third line of the Florida Panthers, continues to dominate every series that they are playing in. I don't know if they have been scored on in these playoffs. That Lundell, Luosterainen, and Marchand line is so good. So good. So, Lundell, less than a minute to go in the first period. He picks up a goal from Verhaeghe, and it is 3-0 late in the first period, and Stuart Skinner did not look good in this period. You can blame him for maybe 2 of the goals, 1 of them maybe not, but you can't let 3 goals in the first period when this game is arguably with your season on the line if you're an Edmonton Oilers player. 3.5 minutes into the second period, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the longest serving Oiler left on this team. He got drafted by the Oilers way back when, but he scores like 3.5 minutes into the second period, putting the game within 2. Yes, 3 goals is the worst lead in hockey. People can argue that, but they are wrong. And then Darnell Nurse, he had a phenomenal game in this one. A lot of people say that he is overpaid in this league. A lot of people say that he is not worth the contract that he is given. But a lot of people say, and I agree with them, that if you are given the contract, you are worth that money to that team because they gave you that contract. So, but you have to live up to that contract as well. But Darnell Nurse, I don't know. He's kind of been a little wishy-washy throughout the years, ever since signing that big extension. He came through huge, scoring a goal in this game and getting the game to 3-2 in the favor of the Panthers still. But it is starting to look like the Oilers are going to have a Panthers period 1 period later. With just under 5 minutes to go in the second period, Vasily Podkolzin, he picks up a puck. It is bouncing all over the place. Leon Draisaitl picks up an assist on this goal, but Podkolzin, he smacks it into the net. Bobrovsky, I don't know if he could really track that puck very well, but he couldn't track it well enough because it went into the back of the net. The game is tied 3-3. The place goes absolutely silent. You can hear a couple groans saying, "Oh no, what did we do here?" It's tough, guys. It's tough to win a game in the playoffs, but you have a 3-0 lead. You cannot let that slide in the playoffs. You did. It is 3-3 heading into the third period. The third period is a lot more even. Both teams are not looking for the chance to make a mistake and the other team capitalize on it. So, why I'm not focused. Hello, it's me. There we go. So I think it was with like around 7 minutes left in the third period. Jake Wallman, the TikTok star, the gritty star, he scores a beautiful one-timer goal from Kasperi Clutch Kapanen. He slides it over to Wallman. Wallman one-times it into the back of the net. The Edmonton Oilers have a 4-3 lead later in the third period. Jake Wallman, he goes nuts, obviously, because he thinks he scored the game-winning goal. Wrong. Let's just get ahead of that. He was wrong. But he thought that he did, and he skates by the Florida Panthers bench, gives them the stare down, and then gives his buddies the fist bump. And then the Florida Panthers, with about 2.5, 3 minutes left in the third period, they pull Bobrovsky out of the net for the extra man attacker. It doesn't look like they're going to do it. It doesn't look like they're going to be able to capitalize on it. The Oilers are playing very good defense. They're having a couple issues getting it out of the zone. But Sam Reinhart, being the guy that he is, he finds a loose puck on the side of the net on Pickard's blocker side. He pots it into the back of the net with 20 seconds left. The game is tied 4-4. And for the third game out of 4 in the Stanley Cup Finals, we're headed to overtime. Just like the third period, the overtime period, the first 10 minutes or so is very back and forth. Both teams have exceptional chances, but none better than the Florida Panthers nailing it off the crossbar. I honestly think it was Sam Bennett, if I'm remembering carefully. I don't have my notes tonight, so who knows how I'm doing. So Sam Bennett, he rings it off the crossbar. It doesn't go in. The place erupted because they thought that he did score. But with 11 minutes into the overtime period, Leon Draisaitl is on a 2-on-1 break with Corey Perry, and Gustav Forsling is the defender. Draisaitl, he tries to reach around Forsling and pass it and slide it over to Corey Perry. He isn't able to, but it goes off the toe of the skate of Gustav Forsling through the legs of Bobrovsky into the back of the net. Leon Draisaitl, he scores the game-winning goal for the Edmonton Oilers, ties the series at 2-2, heading back up north to Edmonton, 3 hours north of where I am, for Game 5 of the Stanley Cup Finals. This series is at least going 6. We want 7. This series has been absolutely amazing. The exception being Game 4. No, today was Game 4. The exception being Game 3, where it was 6-1 Florida, and it just turned into a hit fest, slash fest, dirty fest, which I didn't mind. It was a little bit entertaining. It was kind of like a refresher almost, but we head back to Edmonton. There's only 1 day of travel between today and Saturday for both teams to get all their crap loaded up, fly off to Edmonton, and get ready for Game 5 on Saturday night, where it is not do or die, because you have the chance to go back to Edmonton and try to win it. But you gotta win this game, because having a 3-2 series lead is exceptionally better than being down 3-2. You'd rather have 2 lives rather than 1. So that is it for this video. Sorry that I'm standing. It was kind of fun. Got to move around. But have a great day, everyone. Thanks to all my subscribers now on TikTok. You guys have been awesome on there. YouTube, we haven't grown at all lately. Let's try to bump up those ratings and get this community growing. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Talk to you Saturday.